Hey guys, in this final lecture on the theory preparation for scheduling, I am going to cover the difference between fast tracking and crashing. These are forms of compressing the schedule. Basically, sometimes in life, actually, this is pretty often the case, the sponsor or the business will come to you and say, even though you planned this to take 3 months, we want it done in half of the time. There is constant pressure from the business to complete projects faster. And you can implement that in two main ways, through fast tracking and through crashing. This is a form of compressing the critical path. We covered what is critical path in the previous lecture. This is the longest path through the project, which essentially determines the duration. Now the question is, how do you compress that? How do you make it shorter? Sometimes in life you have to make things shorter. I know it's counterintuitive, but there you go. Shorter sometimes is better. So fast tracking has to do with doing things in parallel. So for example, if you look here on the screen, you have task 1 and task 2, which are currently finished to start, sequential. If you want to compress the red line, instead of completing for this number of weeks, but faster, you can challenge your critical path. Of course, you need to know it first, but assuming that you know what critical path is, you will review your critical activities and say, okay, so activity 1, 2, and 4 are my critical activities. If I fast track or crush some of them, I can finish earlier. Can I start task 1 and task 2 in parallel? Instead of finish to start, can I make them start to start? That will save me a few weeks. Sometimes that would be possible. Sometimes that wouldn't be possible because certain activities are simply not suitable for fast tracking. For example, back to the example with the house. Imagine you're building floor 1. You cannot build floor 2 in parallel because floor 2 requires floor 1 in the first place. But in other cases, on other projects, maybe some of the activities are suitable for fast tracking. For example, you can write a book and in the same time, after you complete a certain chapter, you don't have to write the book in full, but you can submit the completed chapters for editing. So that's a form of fast tracking, making work in parallel. Crashing, on the other hand, is the other major alternative to fast tracking, and it involves assigning more resources to the task. So let's say now that I have to complete this project in a shorter time frame. I know my critical path, 1, 2, and 4. The longest activity, the longest duration is in task 2, and it is very natural to question, can I complete this earlier? So currently it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. If I reduce that by 2 weeks, I can shave off 2 weeks from the overall project duration. Can I throw more resources at activity 2? Currently, activity 2 is completed by Anna. Anna is a subject matter expert in activity 2. The question is she the best person to do it? First of all, I'm going to meet with her and I'll challenge her. I'll say, Anna, can you do this in 3 weeks? Maybe she'll say yes, maybe she'll say no. Maybe I can replace Anna with somebody who is faster. Maybe we can hire an external consultant. Or maybe I can ask Max to help Anna because he has a shorter activity here. Maybe he can help Anna and they can both finish in 3 weeks instead of 4 weeks. So this is crashing. Crashing is also not always possible. One of my favorite jokes is that for project management is that 9 women can deliver a child in 1 month. Certain processes cannot be crushed. All right, so this is the basic theory behind fast tracking and crashing. These are ways to optimize the critical path. Normally, when we say optimize, we mean deliver the project earlier.